Hi, my name is Holly Eagley, and I am doing my presentation on the movie Me, Myself, and Irene. So, yeah. So there's one character, but he has dissociative identity disorder. So there's kind of like two characters, but there's one person. Charlie is his name. He's more the rational character of the two. He's very caring and nice and tries to get along with everyone, even at the expense of his own happiness. He's very passionate about his job and loving and taking care of his children. Hank is more of his alter ego. He says what's on his mind. He doesn't let anyone get over on him. His character usually came out when there's a problem or a fight or flight situation. And one of the reasons why his character came out a lot of the time was because Charlie had um, Charlie wasn't able to communicate his emotions effectively, and that left like him building up stuff. And Hank was the one who like said everything that Charlie really wanted to say. Summary of Me, Myself, and Irene. The movie takes place mainly in the Rhode Island area. It starts out with Charlie and his first wife, Layla. They're in love and they eventually get married and have children. Although Charlie loves them, the boys, he knows they're not his biological children. Eventually, Layla leaves him for the father of the children and leaves Charlie to pick up the pieces and raise them. Through all this, his community treated him horribly. Like they knew that those kids weren't his, so like they were like laughing at him, and they just didn't respect him, honestly, as a state trooper, as a person in general. One day after a bad interaction with a community member at the barbershop, his new personality came out. Hank allowed him to express his emotions without regard for others. Eventually, the department notices his unusual behavior and makes him have a mental assessment. They diagnose him with schizophrenia. He then goes on a long journey with a woman named Irene, and they eventually fall in love. Schizophrenia diagnosis. Schizophrenia is a mental disorder that affects how a person thinks, feels, and behaves. It causes delusions and hallucinations, among other symptoms. Although the officers were right about Charlie having a mental disorder, they did not diagnose him properly. Charlie seems to have more of dissociative disorder than schizophrenia. Dissociative identity disorder causes someone to be split off from their core self and can make a person have two or more different personalities. In Charlie's case, he has another personality named Hank. Schizophrenia seems to be diagnosed across all cultures, with each diagnosis depending on cultural norms and context. Stigmas associated with this disorder include that individuals diagnosed are dangerous and a threat to society. According to the Indian Journal of Psychological Medicine, the expression of disorders like schizophrenia vary from culture to culture. Evidence of mental disorder. Charlie's first signs of mental disorder was acting out of usual at the community barbershop. As I said before, he was more of like calm, cool, collected. He didn't really show his emotions, so when he did, it was like built up anger and like you know. Usually he's a very polite person, of course, but that day something broke loose inside of him. He became irrational. This contributes to the idea of the diathesis stress model in class, which was basically like your genetic disposition plus your stress levels could contribute to you having a mental disorder. After a long day of unusual behaviors, the department got word and decided to get him tested for mental illness. Charlie had symptoms like dissociation and mood swings. His dissociation started when he warned someone at the barbershop about their car being parked in the wrong spot. They responded very carelessly, and others in the barbershop brushed it off and acted like it wasn't a big deal. His mood swings developed as times went on, switching from character to character. When he switched to Hank, he was more in an elated mania mood. A symptom Charlie did not show a lot was depression. His mood was unstable, but it wasn't sad very often. Types of treatment that I would recommend for Hank and Charlie. Um, First one is psychotherapy, which basically is like talk therapy, and individuals talks to a specialist to help gain insight into their problems. Pharmacotherapy is the use of medication to treat diseases. According to innovation in clinical neuroscience, psychotherapy and pharmacotherapy are great ways to treat dissociation disorders. Barriers to treatment include cost and cultural stigmas. Ethical concerns include informed consent and confidentiality, breach of confidentiality. He received proper treatment through pharmacotherapy. He had difficulty with treatment when he forgot the medicine at the hotel. This caused more of his second character, Hank, to come out at times where it wasn't ideal. Say that. Broader perspectives. The movie Me, Myself, and Irene was a great example of a dissociation disorder. It pairs symptoms slash information well with comedy and entertainment. Disorders in film help people gain more insight on how these disorders affect people in their day-to-day lives, of course, and about how people live with mental disorders and how symptoms can persist. Here's my works cited page, and thank you so much for watching my presentation.